Good afternoon, children. In my previous class, I had given the definition of semi-permeable membrane. Then, certain give reasoning questions I had discussed about plasmolysis in practice. These are very frequently asked and important for the council examination. After that, I had discussed an experiment to explain osmosis, that was by Thistle funnel experiment. In this, there were some many modifications which were purely hypothetical, and here the answers to the same I had given to you. That is, for example, what can happen if the semi-permeable membrane is replaced by a rubber sheet or by a muslin cloth, etc. Right? Questions also like how long could osmosis continue? So theoretically and practically there were different answers to discuss. Today's topic is uses of turgidity to plants. To begin with, let us once again revise the term turgidity. It is the state of a cell in which the cell wall is rigid, right? And it is stretched by an increase in volume of vacuoles due to absorption of water. To be very simple in words, turgidity is the state of being fully distended, of the cell to be fully distended and in a tight condition due to enough water inside the vacuoles. So, the first use of turgidity is here, that turgidity provides rigidity to soft tissues such as leaves. Now compare this diagram, children. In this, you can see that enough water when available, the leaf is oriented in the right angle, right, to the stem. But here, when there is no enough water, in this case, a condition develops which we called as wilting or drooping, right? In this case, we can see the petiole. This attachment is called as the petiole, right? And this broad portion or the leaf blade is called as lamina. So here what we can see is that the petiole and the lamina become loose and the leaf drops, right? Or leaf droops down. So wilting is usually noticed when a plant is exposed to hot sun or in a hot afternoon, right? And the amount of water lost is more than the water absorbed. But this is not permanent. This will recover by the evening time if the plant is well watered, right? Or in other words, when absorption exceeds transpiration, the wilting will come back to a normal state like this, and the leaves, they stand out in the normal healthy direction. So this is the first use of turgidity to the soft tissues such as leaves, that leaves, they maintain a rigid texture and they do not droop down. The second is that the turgor pressure, or the abbreviation what we call as TP, turgor pressure or TP, helps to push through the hard ground, right? Now let us say the soil particles or the hard surface, they have to be penetrated by the let's say the weak or very fragile radical which is emerging out from a seed, and this happens during germination. So what do you think is the pressure inside this very delicate structure that pushes through the hard ground? The pressure generated is the turgor pressure. You can also see this sometimes, that there are cracks in the walls that have been made due to trees, or on a concrete floor in a building. The same is due to a very enormous pressure of the turgor pressure. Coming to the third use is turgor in the root cells builds up root pressure. Now look at this simple diagram. This is a well-watered potted plant of balsam, right? This balsam plant, here we have cut the stem just above a few centimeters, right, above the soil, and immediately we have fixed a glass tubing, this glass tubing, by means of a rubber connection. Now what we see is, as soon as we cut the stem, right, the sap starts oozing out, all right, and water starts coming out of this cut end. This water can be seen, and it can be seen to rise up into the glass tubing. So this water ice can shift the mercury. So this water ice can shift the mercury in a manometer. See, in the beginning, the position of mercury in two arms is equal. But this upward flow of water creates a heavy pressure which is due to the roots, right? So that is the root pressure which is pushing the water column up, and later on, look at the position of mercury arm, it is shifted. So mercury level rises in this direction, indicating that there is some push or a pressure, and the same pressure is what you call as the root pressure. So who's responsible for root pressure? The same turgidity. So three things we saw just now. Turgidity was important for the soft tissues, then it was important to push through the hard ground, and it also builds up a root pressure. Coming to the fourth is turgidity or the turgor, which is important for the opening and closing of stomata. Stomatal opening depends on the turgidity of these bean-shaped or kidney-shaped guard cells. Each guard cell, it has a nucleus, as you can see, a thick inner wall that is surrounding the stomatal opening, also called as stoma, a thin outer wall, and has lot many chloroplasts. All right. During daytime, what happens? That the sunlight is there, all right, and the sunlight is trapped by the chloroplast. So many chloroplasts that are there, kitchen of the plant cell. Now these carry on production of glucose, that is the food obtained by photosynthesis. The same glucose that is prepared in the guard cell, it is known to increase the amount of water that will be, see, this glucose will increase the osmotic pressure, and water from adjoining cells starts coming into the guard cell. So this increase of osmotic pressure that has shifted the water makes the guard cell turgid. And as soon as this turgidity is acquired, the guard cells, they open, the stomatal opening, it is sealed. Right? At night, what happens? Just the reverse. That is, there is a shortage of water in the guard cells, and the guard cells, they become flaccid. So this condition of, we can say like being not wilted, but the guard cells that have lost the water, they have turned flaccid, and the rigid walls have become straight, and the stomatal opening is closed. All right, so that was the opening and closing of stomata. Coming to the fifth and the last use of turgidity is turgor movement. Right? What is a turgor movement? It is a movement, for example, something like this. Let's say, number one, there is a sensitive plant called as Mimosa pudica, or the touch me not plant. The moment we touch the leaves or any of the leaves of this plant, even if lightly, the leaflet, it folds, and this happens within 2 to 3 seconds, and the entire leaf droops down like this, right? And if touched somewhat strongly, the wave of folding and drooping spreads from the stimulated leaf to the neighboring leaves. So sometimes the entire leaflet, it spreads to the other ones also, and then it droops down. Slowly they recover and stand erect after some time. So what happens actually? Now in this case, you'll have to understand some terms. This is the stem of the leaflet. This is the petiole, and the base of the petiole is called as pulvinus, right? This pulvinus, now the moment it is touched, the stimulus of touch leads to loss of turgor at the base, right? Now what happens? Some cells here at this region, they lose their turgor, whereas the cells above, they maintain their turgidity. So due to this difference, what happens? The leaflet, it droops down, and that's a temporary change. Other movements, they're interesting to know of the turgor movements are, for example, the movements that are seen into insectivorous plants, where we know that as soon as insect comes and sits into the plant, a modified leaf, etc., it closes, right, to digest the proteins in the insect. Second is bending movement of certain flowers towards the sun, like sunflower. Then sleep movements of leaves of certain plants at night. So this can be called as the reason due to the turgidity that can be given to it. So that is all about the uses of turgidity. Once again, we discussed 5 uses. Rigidity to the soft tissues, then turgor pressure responsible to push through the hard ground, turgidity or the turgor responsible to build up root pressure, opening and closing of stomata, and turgor movement. Coming to another very important term is guttation, right? This term is also called as exudation. This is not given in your textbook, but just to tell you, this is also what we call as exudation. Now what happens? It's a very interesting thing to see.